Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel The Data Guy. In our ongoing series on data engineering interview questions with solutions, today's questions revolves around Boolean condition to analyze our data. How we can use just true-false Boolean condition to analyze a particular data. So before we jump into the solution, let's make sure to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up if you find the content helpful, and feel free to drop any question or comments below. Alright, let's get started with today's challenge. So as you can see in the sample data that we have multiple project IDs available with their submission dates. And you can see that these all submission dates are different for every project. And now here we have to identify the latest submission date for every project. So now let me clear this. Let me show you what is the expected output we should get here. Okay, so as you can see that for every row we got an equivalent column named latest submission date, and which is identifying either this submission date for that particular project ID is latest or not. So we are getting our expected output in form of true and false. I hope you understand this question here. Now let's check what should be the shortest and optimized code to solve this scenario in our PySpark Databricks. So let's get started. So on basis of my sample data, I have already created a data frame which is containing my project ID and their submission date. Now from next cell onwards, I'll start my transformation. So let's check how we can solve this approach. So very first, we are asked to find the latest date, which should be our maximum date for every project ID. So to find out the maximum date from every project ID, I'll be using my window function max, and I'll do the partition on my this particular project ID. So let's check. I'll define my window function here. So I'll just write window spec, and here I'll pass my window function, and I have to partition it based on my ID column, project ID column. So I'll just write here partition by, and here in between I'll pass my column name, which is my project ID column. Now after passing the project ID here, I'll create a data frame which should be my final result df. So I'll mention here final df, and df is my source data frame. So I'll write here df with sorry, I'll use this with column which we'll get from finding our max date. Let's name this column as max date column. Now this max date column will apply on my submission date. So I'll pass my submission date column here, and I have to use it with my overclose where I'll be passing my above mentioned window specification function. So I'll directly mention it here. What I did here is very first I did my partition based on the project ID, and then I found out max date from every submission date with the partition of my project ID. So for every project ID I'll get a max date, and that will be stored in my this max date column. Now after this, what I'll do is I'll just check this max date column with my submission date, and whenever I'll find both the values to be equivalent or equal, I'll get it as an true, or other one will be noted as an false. So let's check. So here I'll write down my this final df is equals to df dot, not df dot, I'll mention this only with column. I'll create a column name latest date which will show us our true or false value. So for that reason I have created this new column latest date which will store our true or false boolean result, and then I'll pass here my submission date. We have to compare our submission date with our max date column. So for that reason I have passed here my submission date, and I am checking it with my newly added max date column. So what I'll do is I'll just pass here my max date column. So in this statement, what I did is I created a new column which will be named as latest date, and what this latest date column is doing, it is checking the dates between their submission date column and their max date column, and based on that, if this condition will be true, then it will give us true in our latest date column, or else it will give us false. So once we'll get that result, now we don't require this max date column, as we got our true and false result in our latest date. So I'll drop this column here. So I'll just define my df, and I'll write my final df dot drop, and I'll pass the name of column which I have to drop for my data frame, and then I'll display the result here. So let me display this result here, and let's check what is the output we are getting here. Okay, I got an error here. Window dot partition by with column str object has no attribute f. Let me check. Okay, sorry, I should pass comma here. Okay, so I did some small mistakes. Instead of passing comma here, I posted a dot here, so it was the issue. Okay, so now you can see that in our output we got three columns. One was our project ID, another one was our submission date, and we got an latest date named column here, which is having true and false multiple output available, like true and false for every date. Let me expand this result so that we can get what is the output for every row. Okay, so now as you can see that we have project ID, particular project ID having two records available, and for those two records we have one date is 13th of fourth month and 18th of fourth month. So as you can see that 30th is the 30th is our latest date, so for that equivalent row we go true, and for that 18th it was the like it is the oldest date as compared to 30th, so we got false here. Same applies with my another project ID also. So this is how you can see that for the this last record we have three rows available. So in here we have three dates available. One is 23rd of first month, another one is 19th of first month, and second one is the 21st of second month. So as you can see that this 21 of the second month is our latest date, so we got true here, else for both the dates we got false here. So this would be our smallest and optimized approach to get result for this type of scenarios. I hope you understand the logic we have used here. I have just did the partition by with my max function to get the max value from a particular row with respective to its project ID. Thank you for watching this video. Do like and share this video. Subscribe the channel, as I am coming with more data engineering, interesting interview questions and solutions. Thank you.